Yo, guys, another great chapter of Dandadan. And let me tell you something about why I like this series so much and what it's doing. Last chapter or last review, I talked about how the mangaka is able to balance all of these different things. But specifically, what I like about this is the relationship between Kin and Ayase, right? Typically when it comes to maybe a shonen or a shojo with a lot of romance and comedy in it, it'll take maybe hundreds of chapters to really get to the point of them finally realizing their feelings for each other or something like that, or even something like the misunderstanding between Ira and Ken. Something like that would have festered for like 50 to 100 chapters and then finally would have been corrected after some big event that happened. But no, we got all of that stuff in this chapter. And honestly, next chapter may or may not be a confession, but we do know that, they at least know in a way that they both have feelings for each other. At least that's what I kind of get from this. But well, I'll talk about that towards the end. But I just wanted to state that I'm really liking Dandadan's direction and how it's just really getting to the point. And I've got some predictions on where this whole, romance between the two are going to go. But let's start with the chapter here, guys, right? So they beat them. They beat the aliens. They won. They get out of the alternate reality world that they're in where they're basically underwater, or the whole school is underwater, right? And they end up on top of each other in a very provocative position. And they are on top of each other. They're like, oh my god, we're back, finally we're back. We're back in school, solid floor, solid land, thank goodness. And then after that, they look up and they realize, oh, the entire classroom is looking at us, and everybody in the class, in the school, is like, oh my god, are they doing it? Like, are they doing it in the hallway? What's going on? And no one mentioned that they were soaking wet, but I guess they were too shocked over the fact that it looks like they're basically doing it with each other, right? And so they all run out, and then we see Ira running by, like right behind them, right? And there's like people chasing him, like, oh wait, is that Miss Shiratoshi? It's like, oh, is that Okaru and is that Ayase? Like, were they having intercourse? Like, what's going on? Where are you guys going? And then I found this part kind of funny, but we get introduced to the nurse, and it's this very pretty nurse. And like I said, in last chapter, I've noticed that Tatsu's depiction or his drawing of women, for me, the faces are so similar, but he's such a great artist. It's kind of crazy, but I feel like the nurse kind of looks like Ayase too, kind of like Ira looks like Ayase. Like, they share a lot of similarities, which again isn't a bad thing. It's just something I noticed. But I guess her name is Queen, I guess, or at least according to what the guy that barged in called her. But the nurse is basically saying, like, look, he's like, quit lying to me. What's going on? If you're bullied, you were bullied. Just let me know. And they all basically say no. Again, interesting nurse's outfit in a school. But she's, in a sense, a little dominatrix type. And I found funny that she talks about bullying, but in my opinion, her calling this guy that walks in a baldy, and then on top of that saying, I'm gonna punish you for this. I mean, you're kind of a bully in a sense yourself, right? So, but yeah, basically after that, she leaves the room, and they're all shocked over, basically what's happened and everything. And they're trying to figure out, like, what's her name? Ira's basically talking about, oh, my popularity, my innocence, what's going to happen to me? What are we going to do? And then they kind of get into why they were after Ken. And Ken's kind of thinking things up, like, it's like, it seems like they're after, the Turbo Gravity's power, but they don't know why. And then Momo also mentions to Ira, like, hey, like, when did you get the same powers? And Ira basically just says that, she just randomly awakened them. But it all makes sense because she has the Silky Lady's aura, right? Because that's what saved her, because she was dead before, but because Silky Lady gave her her aura, she basically, they explain it as her battery was basically recharged when the Silky Lady sacrificed herself, the acrobatic woman. So then they get into, at least Okarun's theory, which I'll read here. You were able to fight them off because of your yokai power, but having that power makes you their target too. And Okarun says that's exactly the point. There's the argument that if aliens possess such astounding science and technology, then why haven't they invaded Earth? I've even wondered myself. It's because there are yokai. That is why they can't. And he's basically saying here that the reason why, or at least his theory, the reason why the aliens are after them is because they want to study this yokai power, because once they study it, they'll be able to invade Earth and, in a sense, take over Earth, because they studied Okarun or Ira and were able to get information for their future alien invasion or whatever, right? Basically, the yokai, the spirits, are the protectors of Earth from other outside forces. That's his theory. Which, I mean, it could possibly be. And they also mentioned, too, Okarun mentioned, they might have his other ball. And he's, like, positive that they might. So it's interesting, and that might be the premise of this. It could be later on in the future that the bigger threat are these aliens that keep coming after them. And then also on the side, too, battling other yokai and spirits. But, we'll see. But that's definitely a prediction for the future. And then after that, they're kind of thinking over what happened again. And then they get sad and upset and flustered. And then Ira's basically saying, you know what, I'll just blame Momo. And then Momo's like, I don't even care anymore. Whatever, just blame me. And Okarun's like, what? No, don't say that. And then Ira's friends come out to the nursing room and basically pull him away from Okarun and Momo. And they were like, look, we know it was you. It probably was you. Let's get you out of here, Ira. And they walk off, right? Then this is the part I want to talk about, because this is, in my opinion, the most important part. So we get the confession of the misunderstanding between Okarun and Momo, and he explains everything, right? Oh, she was trying to kiss me, I was trying to force her off of me. Why were you there anyway? And he basically explains, like we knew before, she was working out. And Ken basically says, and he kind of gets into why he was doing all this in the first place. And he says, well, I thought if I could get tough without you realizing it happened, I'd be kind of cool, basically saying, right? And she's kind of blushing and laughing at the same time. And then Okarun's getting flustered, and he's like, even a fellow like me is a man. And after him saying that, it kind of plays into the character that Momo Ayase has kind of fallen in love with, that TV character Takakura Ken. But it also is basically saying, like, look, I'm a guy, like, I'm going to do these things because, in a roundabout way, I'm trying to impress you, basically, right? And then she gets to teasing and all that stuff. And she's like, oh, why did you want me to think you were cool? And she knows why. But now she's just teasing and playing with them, trying to avoid her feelings for all of this, too. But, this, in a sense, just makes it more clear that he does not like Ira like she thought. It's actually her that she likes. Or that he likes, right? And then he's basically like, look, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to say anything bad about you. And then Ayase says Okarun. And then there's this, like, she's like basically blushing, looking to the side, and then Okarun looks back, also blushing. So my predictions for next chapter is maybe some type of confession, or some type of compliment to Ken about him being strong or being a man, anything like that. Or 3, it's probably going to be a kiss. But either way, we are getting this plot of them two confessing to each other. Like I said before, it's going to happen pretty quick. And to me, that's a good thing, right? And the reason why this is a good thing is because it's really getting to the point, and I think what's gonna happen here is this is gonna be them battling things together as a couple. Because honestly, that's really where I see this going, is them becoming a couple, and then the two of them are not only best friends like Ken has been wanting, but they also really care about each other over time, and they're gonna go through a lot of stuff together through battling all these spirits and aliens, and that's just gonna be the manga. And I think it'll be interesting if the mangaka does go that route, because then they could get into like issues like with them in their relationship, or them trying to get used to others knowing that they're together, that type of thing, while also battling all these crazy spirits, right? And yeah, I think it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be really good. Those are kind of my predictions for the future. And I really know what you guys think. What you think about what's gonna happen between those two, and the whole prediction of the aliens are trying to attack Earth, but they want to get research on the yokai first. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and please like and subscribe, man. Another great Dandadan chapter.